Hi guys, it's Leela Mullen from Be Inspired Horsemanship, and since it's Sunday, I thought it would be a great opportunity to introduce you guys to our second RRP hopeful, and this is Sunday. So when we first got Sunday, we thought his name was Sunday Morning. So a funny story, his name is actually Sunday's Mistake. And we made a mistake about his name. So when I went to look him up in the EQUA database, I realized that we couldn't find his stats because we had his name wrong, pulled out his paperwork, and realized that his name is actually Sunday's Mistake. So Sunday raced about 9 times. He's Louisiana bred. He's a 5-year-old. So same age as our other horse, Calvin, but that is kind of where the similarities and the sameness ends. This guy is definitely, we've learned, kind of an extroverted horse. He definitely has more of a flight response. He's more sensitive. He is also more confident. He is kind of short coupled, very athletic. So I think he's going to be great with his confidence and some things we've seen him do. I think he's going to be great for ranch work and cattle work if we can just kind of get him settled and focus in the right direction. So some of the things that we noticed right away with him is he's super sweet. He has a great personality. So I think he's also going to be really good for liberty work, some trip training, if we can just focus his energy as well. Because he likes people. He likes cookies a lot. I think he got quite a bit of cookies in his past, but he's also pretty pushy on your bubble. He's happy and friendly as long as he can kind of come and be in your space and kind of, maul all over you for treats and stuff. So that is kind of not super acceptable at our place. And then the other thing we've noticed is that that's all well and good until you tell him no, or you say, hey, I think we need to do this a little differently. And then he kind of gets, he wants to take over a little bit. So he is the alpha already in any herd we have put him in, any friend we've given him, he is the boss of. Funny side story, we tried him out. He was getting pretty assertive and pretty bossy with pretty much all the other horses we own that we turned him out with. So we thought we'd put him out with Zeus, who is actually our assertive alpha horse in the herd, pretty much has been for years. And I put them in the indoor together, and pretty much they got along fine. And then Sunday came over to a hay pile. Zeus was eating, or Zeus went over to a hay pile Sunday was eating. Sunday lifted his leg and pinned his ears, and Zeus was like, I'm not even worried about it. I'll just go to another hay pile. And then Sunday came over to that hay pile and moved Zeus off. And this horse is super, super smart. So as soon as he realized he could move Zeus off the hay pile, he licked his lips and chewed and was like, oh, there's another horse I can boss around. So that didn't really work out the way we planned. So now I've kind of, realized that the real key is going to be for me to make sure he knows I'm the alpha in our herd, and that he's respectful of my space and boundaries and my bubble. As you can see, when he kind of can't stand still for very long still, that's something we're working on. He would prefer to be in movement all the time. And sometimes his movement is quick and very reactive to things. So we've just been working on kind of boundaries, yielding work, space work. He's quick to pick those back feet up at things he's not so sure about. So I've been using the flag, and we'll probably get the rope down and rope his feet some too, and just get him a little bit more secure in kind of what the game plan is. He's definitely going to be one of those horses that he does best when his idea, he thinks what you're doing is his idea, which is fine. He'll be a good horse for me to work with. He reminds me a lot of my warm blood Zeus, who for quite a few years I struggled with. That's how I got into buck Brannaman horsemanship in the first place about 6 years ago. So it'll be nice to kind of have another horse. I haven't had a horse really like Zeus since then, so it'll be nice to have another horse like that, that I can kind of see what I can get done with and, avoid some of the mistakes I made with Zeus. And I have more tools in my toolbox now to kind of work with a horse like that. So I'm pretty excited to work with him. In the end, I think when he, kind of like Zeus, when he gets focused and understands what you'd like him to do, and he enjoys his work, and he understands, what's being asked of him, and that he can ask questions, and he has a say-so in kind of his life, without taking over all the time. I think he actually is going to be pretty fancy, pretty athletic, a pretty nice kind of cow ranchy horse. I think he's going to be really supple and really easy to teach some movements, some advanced lateral movements and things like that too. So the main process is going to be, seeing if we can kind of mentally get with him, so he'll get with us, and be able to progress in kind of the time frame needed. So for the makeover anyway. Long term, I think he's going to be a great horse, even if we keep him for a little longer than the makeover, to kind of get him where he needs to be, that's fine. Because I think he's going to make somebody a really, really nice horse when we get there. So, it took me like 2 years to really get Zeus kind of dialed in, and I kind of have 10 months with this horse just for the competition's sake. So we'll see. It'll be interesting and a good training opportunity for me to see how this horse progresses. So he's definitely already come quite a bit in the last 2 weeks. We started out round penning in here with him rearing and bucking and not being respectful and all those things. And coming into your space and being happy until you told him no, and then being pretty disrespectful when you ask him to get out of your space. So now we've kind of got him to where, he's still a little reactive, but he'll kind of back out of your space nicely. We've got him working on flag work. We've got him yielding around a circle with us. We've started working on rolling his hindquarter and things like that. So same as the other guys, just really solid basic groundwork to start. Making sure we kind of get on the same page with him, and he kind of understands that he can get on the same page with us, and that it doesn't have to be a fight or a rumble. You can tell he's a little defensive, and he's just got more fight response than Calvin. Calvin just kind of is like, oh, okay, flight, I'll just panic and shut down because people have overpressured me. This guy's like, well, if you're going to overpressure me, I'm going to have an opinion about it. And, I've probably backed people off when I've gotten in a situation I was uncomfortable with, by defending myself, which is what horses do when they're scared. If it's life or death to them, they either run or they defend themselves. So we're just trying to let him know, by being really slow and deliberate and methodical with what we ask of him, that it doesn't have to be a fight situation, and it doesn't have to be a flight situation either. We can just work together on some things. So that's kind of the rundown on Sunday so far. He's been here the same amount of time as Calvin. We got them both at the same time. Sunday came from the National Thoroughbred Welfare Organization, or NTWO, another rehoming organization in Lexington. They were really nice. They have a great place, tons of horses, plenty of property for them to just be horses for a little while. So he was kind of just turned out and allowed to kind of be a horse out there. So that was really good for him for several months. And just stay tuned for probably quite a few training videos will be posted working with Sunday, just because we have a lot we can work with him with. And like I said, when he, as you can see, when he kind of gets it and gets on point, he has a wonderful personality. I've already started trick training him just a little bit, getting him to target the ball, and he seemed to enjoy that. So just stay tuned for updates and more info and more progress reports on our other RRP Thoroughbred Makeover hopeful. This is Sunday's mistake. So I'm Leela Mullen from Be Inspired Horsemanship. You guys have a great rest of your Sunday.